Okay, we're in Math 120, and we're doing Project K in the Math 120 section of the projects. Again, for students that are going to submit these for assignments, you're going to do the Jupyter Notebook. For the students who are just looking at code, I would recommend using the terminal to do this. Now, again, this is a project that's based on your knowledge of, one, the imaginary unit, which you first learned about at Escana College in Math 100. It was reinforced in Math 119, and then in Math 120, you really did spend a lot of time with complex numbers, and basically the trigonometric form of it. But what do they want me to do? They want to verify something, and they want to verify that the sum of this thing over here, starting at 10 to 1,000, of the complex unit I raised to the jth power. Now, what does that mean? It means I to the 10th, I to the 11th, I to the 12th, up to I to 1,000. Now, I go through it, and the way I go through it might be different than your teachers taught it to you. But this is me working at a board, so to speak, all right? What I would do is I would multiply both sides by I get this over here. The next thing I would do is I would subtract is from s, and you would get 1 minus I times s, and then a lot of things would cancel off, and you'd be left off with I10 minus I to the 1001. Now, granted, you might say, I don't remember how to do that. That's really the domain of Math 119, doing this I to the 10th and I to the 1001. And it's really not bad to do. And what I do, I always reduce it down to what I do know, which are squares and i's. And that's what I did over here. And I got an answer of minus I in the end. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use Sage to verify that. All right. Now, sums are something that we've dealt with before in Sage as well. But they do give you the code. Hopefully that code makes sense to you. I do want to emphasize, though, over here, if you look at this over here, I'm using an uppercase I for the unit imaginary. So I want to go to Sage. I already have it running. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the square root of minus 1. And what does it return to me? The uppercase I. Now, if you did I squared, what do you get? Minus 1. Let me go back over here and just point out to you, I said that I to the 10th. Let's go through this again. I to the 10th power. I said it was equal to something, right? What is it equal to? It's equal to minus 1. All right. Now, certainly it's written down for you. And then, I to the 1001, let me put that down for you. I to the 1001. And that equals I. All right. And that stuff's all written down for you, by the way. All right. So I'm just going over what I is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type the code in now. Let me clear the screen. And I'm going to type the code in. Sum. And what's sum going to be? Well, I'm going to sum I to the jth power. And I'm going to say j is starting somewhere. So I'm going to say for j in, well, starting at 10, ... and going to 1,000. And I get minus I as expected. All right. Now, again, part of this is playing around. All right. Playing around with the software. Looking at what we're asking you to do, looking at what we're doing over here, but also looking at this thing over here, which is the code for this problem. All right. Now, someone says, do I need to learn if I'm going to code? Yeah, you need to learn the material, and learn the material by paper and pencil, by the way. Why are we introducing Sage at this point? So you're getting you're getting your feet wet in this subject area of a computer algebra system. Later on, though, things are going to get much more difficult, and you're going to not be able to do a paper and pencil. You're going to go directly to a computer. But I will say this, though, if you can't do things by paper and pencil, you're never going to get near a computer. It's just not going to happen. All right. Let me call it quits, and we'll come back to the next project later on. Thank you so much for paying attention.